Whispers of the Last Wyvern.
I remember the days when the air hummed with magic, when the mountains trembled beneath the weight of our wings, and when the stars themselves seemed to bend in reverence as we soared through the skies. I was a wyvern, one of the last of my kind, a creature born of flame and sky, a protector of ancient realms, and an embodiment of the wild, untamable forces that once shaped this world. Now I am nothing more than a whisper in the wind. My name has faded from the tongues of mortals, my existence reduced to myths and fragmented memories. The world I once knew, where the moon shone brighter, the rivers ran deeper, and the forests sang with the voices of the ancients, has been swallowed by time. And I, the last of my kind, am here to tell you why we are no more. It wasn't always like this. Long ago, when the world was young, we wyverns lived in harmony with the forces of nature. We were not mere beasts, but guardians of balance. Our breath could melt stone, our claws could tear through mountains, and our wings could carry us to the furthest reaches of the world. We did not seek to rule, but to protect. We were the keepers of secrets hidden beneath the earth, the watchers of the stars, the companions of the winds. Humans, they were different back then. Small, fragile, yet full of curiosity. They would gaze up at us with awe and wonder, not with fear, and we would return their gaze, sensing the same spark of curiosity in their hearts. They were not like the creatures who sought to dominate, but they were like us in one way. They longed for knowledge. I remember the first time I spoke with a human. It was a child, no more than 6 winters old, with eyes wide as the sky itself. She came to me in the heart of a forest, where the trees were as tall as the mountains and the air thick with enchantment. I had been wounded, a deep gash across my wing from a battle with a rival, and it was there, alone and bleeding, that she found me. Her name was Ilara. I tried to retreat from her, but she did not fear me. Instead, she sat quietly at my side, her small hands pressed to the earth, her voice a soft murmur of comfort. She brought me food, water, and herbs from the woods. She learned my ways, and in return, I shared what I knew with her. I taught her the songs of the wind, the language of the stars, and the wisdom of the earth. We became companions in the truest sense. In her, I saw the flicker of a kindred spirit, a spark of magic, of untapped potential that could one day grow to shape the world. But it wasn't to be. As time passed, the humans began to change. They grew restless, their desires stretching beyond their reach. They began to take more from the land, not just what they needed, but what they wanted. They built great cities that rose up to the skies, leaving scars upon the earth. They dug into the mountains, mined the very bones of the world, and poisoned the rivers that once sang with life. And then, they started hunting us. It began as rumors, whispers on the wind. Humans spoke of creatures like me, powerful and dangerous, able to control the very elements. They spoke of wyverns as if we were some kind of treasure to be hunted, captured, and controlled. They imagined our bones could grant them power, our scales could cure disease, and our blood could grant them immortality. At first, we did not retaliate. We knew the humans were just beginning to understand their power, their potential. Perhaps, we thought, they would learn. Perhaps they would see the error of their ways before it was too late. But they did not. They began to build weapons to capture us, traps that could bind our wings, cages that could imprison our hearts. They poisoned the forests, destroyed the mountains, and burned the skies. They took what they wanted without understanding the cost of what they destroyed. They grew bolder, more reckless, and soon the magic that had once flowed freely through the world began to fade. The forests grew silent, the rivers dried, the stars no longer spoke to us, for they too were slipping away, their light dimming in the wake of the humans' greed. One by one, the Wyverns fell. We fought as we always had, with honor, with fury, with the wild magic of the earth. But we were outmatched. The humans had learned to harness the very forces of nature against us. They built machines that could break our wings, traps that could bind our spirits. The last of us retreated, hidden in the crags of mountains, waiting for the world to turn back in our favor. But it never did. Ilara, she was one of the last to remember us. She searched for me long after the world had forgotten the Wyverns. I heard her voice on the wind, calling my name in the night, but I could not answer. The world had changed, and there was no place for creatures like me anymore. The humans had turned their gaze away from the mysteries of the earth and sky, focused now only on what they could conquer. What? I am the last Wyvern. I have lived through the rise and fall of ages, watched kingdoms crumble, and seen the land wither. The magic that once flowed through the veins of the world is now a faint pulse, barely a whisper in the corners of forgotten forests and abandoned temples. Why are we not around anymore? Because the world no longer believes in magic. They have replaced it with steel and fire, with technology and reason. They no longer see the beauty in the wind or the wisdom in the stars. They have grown too far from the wild, too distant from the heart of the earth, and in doing so, they have driven away everything that once made this world alive. I do not blame them. They do not know what they have lost, but I remember. I remember the way the stars used to sing, the way the mountains would echo our roars, the way the wind would carry the voices of the ancients. I remember the magic that once flowed through every living thing. But no longer. Now, I wait, alone, a creature of the past, a relic of a time forgotten. Perhaps one day, when the humans have learned the cost of their choices, they will remember us. Perhaps one day they will once again listen to the whispers of the wind and the stories of the stars. But until then, I remain, a shadow in the dark, a flicker of the old world, waiting to fade completely. I am the last Wyvern, and I am not long for this world.
This story reflects the sense of loss and nostalgia of a mythical creature trying to understand the fading of magic and the growth of human progress, leaving it and its kind behind. The Wyvern's perspective emphasizes the deeper connection to nature, magic, and the changing relationship between humans and the world around them.